Welcome back to another video from Not Only Trout. Today we're going to be tying up what I'm affectionately calling the cotton candy Brassie, and I'll get to the naming of that here in just a moment. In the vise we have a Moonlit ML056 hook in size 12 with a 3mm slotted tungsten bead in blue. What we do is we stick the end of our wire right into the slot, jam it all the way up tight, and tie that in nice and tight. We're doing that so we don't have any waste, and it gives us a clean spot to start our wrapping back to the back edge of the hook with this pink wire. So what we're going to do here is lay down some tight touching wraps, and feel free to adjust these by squishing the wire back as needed. Do some tight wraps. If it comes a little squirrely, undo a wrap and then redo it. While I'm working this back, I'll go ahead and tell you why I'm affectionately calling it the cotton candy Brassie. My 7-year-old daughter came in when I was about to tie some flies, and she was talking to me, and I asked her what I should use for materials and what colors we should use, and she grabbed some bright pink wire and the blue tungsten bead that's on this vise already. So we went through and we decided to tie up a Brassie pattern, and we fell in love with it, and she said that it reminds her of cotton candy. So cotton candy Brassie it is. So once we do these tight wraps of wire all the way back to the back of the hook, we're going to do some open spiral wraps. On this one, I do 4 wraps forward. So you see that I make some calculated movements and move it forward with about a 2 to 3 wire gap between each of the open wraps. And when we get to the front of this, our final wrap will be near the top of the wire, or the end of where we started. And then we'll go through and wrap that forward so we can get some crossing wraps to lock down this wire in place. And once that's in place nice and tight, lock it in with a couple wraps before and behind it. Go ahead and helicopter off that wire, and you'll be left with a place to tie in our next material, which is going to be some peacock. So you can see we've got that helicoptered off. We'll do a couple of wraps just to clean up any loose areas of exposed wire, and then we'll go ahead and tie in some peacock. So tie that in by the tip, snip off the end if there's any left over. If there's a small tag there, don't worry about it too much, and then go ahead and do some tight touching wraps with peacock. If it breaks off, life goes on, just undo and try over again. So tying that back in again. Third time's the charm, it looks like. So then we'll go ahead and wrap this in with nice touching wraps, and it'll give it that kind of bulky and bushy color that we want on this cotton candy Brassie. Once you build up the collar that you want, go ahead and do a cross wrap, tie that off, and be careful not to pull too tight, or you can break that peacock before you get it tied in nicely and correctly, and it will cause everything to come unraveled. At this point, go ahead and whip finish your fly. And if you want to add some additional durability, which I definitely recommend with this peacock collar, go ahead and after you've cut out your thread, go ahead and add a drop of head cement or UV resin. In this case, I used some Raid Zap thin UV resin and got it right in behind the bead in that little slot area. Give it a little bit of protection there. Then hit it with your UV light, and you've got a completed fly. I hope you enjoyed the cotton candy Brassie, and I hope you tie some up and throw them at some local fish. Have a great day, and if you haven't, please subscribe. Appreciate you.